Hello and welcome to another episode of Jenuine Healing Down Under with your hosts, me, Marvin Schneider.
And me, Jen Ward. Hi, everybody.
We're in our local park today and we're doing a couple of things. One is that we're giving out friendship bracelets in celebration of Taylor Swift, who's actually in our country at the moment doing a whole series of concerts, and they're sold out. 96,000 people attended the first event. Jen?
96,000, I think.
96,000.
Okay, yeah.
96,000 is apparently, she says, it's one of her biggest events ever.
It is. I believe her.
So here's the funny thing. We just did a Protecting Taylor Swift video. If you haven't seen that video, jump onto either YouTube or the Jenuine Healing website, jenuinehealing.com with a J, and have a look at that video. We're basically protecting Taylor Swift because she's got some fairly orchestrated, nasty energies trying to mess her up, actually.
Yeah, but they can't, because we see what they do in energy, and I can see what they do in energy, and I can dissipate that, no problem. So whatever they're trying to do with her, to her, is going to just blow back on them. So they'll figure that out pretty quick.
Absolutely, and we recorded that video a couple of days before the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
And of course, Jen, your favorite team, the Chiefs, did do a touchdown in what, was it the last 3 seconds or the last 13 seconds?
It was an overtime, which was really cool. But yeah, it was just in the nick of time. I don't think Travis was going to leave that Super Bowl without winning.
So there is some cause and effect between the work that we do and what you see playing out in reality. So that was just pretty cool, I would say.
Yeah, so we've been doing this energy work on certain truth advocates, those who bring kindness, creativity, and uplift consciousness in some way. We do the energy work to protect them, to support their work, and to create a synergy with what they're doing. And that's why we're at the park giving out friendship bracelets in support of Taylor Swift and the work she does. Oh, a bee. I love bees.
Squirrel. Of course, the other thing is that we just did our Undoing the Valentine's Day Massacre group SFT tapping event.
Don't hit him.
I'm not hitting him. I'm just trying to, so you don't swallow him.
I don't swallow him.
You don't swallow.
I don't swallow.
Baby, this is a family show. So we did our Undoing the Valentine's Day Massacre group SFT tapping event. It was quite a marathon event, and that event was drawing the parallel between the nefarious activities of Al Capone way back in 1929 and Donald Trump, who is trying to mess with the joy, love, abundance, freedom, health, success, universal empowerment of 8 billion people on the planet.
Mm-hmm. So yeah, and you kind of see these hits go out there, like the Chiefs parade, which is supposed to be all this goodwill and everyone's supposed to support them. You see it ruined by someone, killing someone during it. This is the way that innocence gets messed with. So it could have been a lot worse. I mean, this sounds horrible to say, but energetically, the things you see play out are not hitting the mark of taking down humanity like they'd like to.
So, but the other thing is that we did that group SFT tapping event on Valentine's Day, which was just a couple of days ago, and then you are now being able to see in real time what is happening to Donald Trump. And so the energy work that we're doing here really is having an effect. And I really would encourage everyone out there to support the work that we're doing here, because it really is about your empowerment, universal empowerment, the empowerment of 8 billion people on the planet.
Yeah. So here's the thing. I saw over 6 or 8 years ago, I don't remember how long, that he was going to set himself up as a savior and a dictator. I saw that when you guys were just getting used to the idea of him being president. I've been doing SFT tapping and group sessions to prevent him from energetically, with all his rhetoric and all his weaponizing of prayer and all these psychic things that he uses, preventing him from from getting a foothold. And that's partly why he looks like such an idiot all these years, is because his attacks on humanity aren't landing the way he expected them to.
Well, he's seriously lobotomized. Anyway, so he's having his comeuppance. We call it being hoisted on your own petard. If you've ever heard that expression on any of our videos or group tapping events, that's what's going on. He really is being hoisted on his own petard. And the thing is that everything that's happening to him and is of his own making. Now, here's the thing. Donald Trump is only one of about a dozen or 2 dozen autocrats, dictators, wannabe assholes out there that are actively working against the interests of all of humanity. Putin is another one of them, and unfortunately we heard today that Navalny, who is one of our advocates of truth, Jen, you've been working to support him for many years now. You basically healed him from 2 poisonings.
Yeah.
Anyway, he has died in prison.
He was murdered.
So the wisdom behind the scenes is that it was an orchestrated hit. Putin, shame on you. You're not going to get away with it, by the way.
So what's really ridiculous is Putin is such a bag of nothing. He's just an ego that needs to be popped, and he's an empty scrotum sack, babies. Well, that's being kind. That's an offense to all empty scrotum sacks around the world. But anyways, so the energy work we're doing is actually dissipating all this bluster that he has been using to be larger than life. The best technique you can do is imagine him inwardly and just laugh your freaking ass off at him, because dictators have such thin skin because they need that facade of importance to keep them afloat.
But the important word that you just said there is the facade.
Facade.
It's not real. And so the thing is that the more the collective gives these assholes reverence and authority, that's what feeds them. And the thing is, as soon as you take that away from them, they really are just pathetic, numbnuts.
Right. So when we do the SFT protocol tappings, group tapping sessions, what we're doing, I'm a shaman, so I know how to move energy. So what we're doing is taking this blowhard who's been taking energy from the individuals through fear and through outrage and through cruelty, and he's been collecting energy from all individuals. We're stripping that off of him, dissipating that sack, and giving that energy back to the individuals. Now that's why you might see more protesting now in the last few years than you would have in the past, because people are starting to get their energy back. We need that to happen even more, so the Russian people can just laugh him out of existence.
So the thing is that you don't necessarily have to get on the streets and protest in a very visible way. You can do the silent protesting. And the thing is that when you protest in energy by participating with us in our group tapping events and then following through at home during your day to be your empowered self, when you're your empowered self, you're not giving over your power to anyone else. And so that's what's happening with Donald Trump and others, is that the broader collective are waking up to the facade and all the bullshit, the BS and the nonsense, it's gratifying to see, actually.
So for years I've been putting tabs out on social media. When something happens in the news that really upsets people, I'll give them the tabs, the SFT tabs they can do when they see them, and then they say, thank you, I feel better already. So what we're doing is taking them from fear and feeling hopeless to giving them this technique where they can feel empowered. And it doesn't matter if it's real, if you can see the energy exchange, or you can just feel it. And people are feeling more empowered from this, and that's a good thing.
Absolutely. What else do you want to say about current affairs? We are sad to hear about Navalny. He was one of our promoted advocates of truth. He would have been a great savior to the Russian people. Unfortunately, in this instance, he was taken out. But in the broader scheme of things, Putin is just getting closer and closer to getting his own comeuppance, and so keep an eye out for that.
You know what Therese thought?
What?
Therese thought his wife would be a great female president of Russia.
I'm not sure about that. So.
I know, but I'm just saying, it's like all these different scenarios that you never would have imagined. Now we're imagining them. We're all being educated and becoming more wise with all these traumas and experiences that are happening out there. It's okay. It's okay. Like, the chaos is just part of strengthening yourself to get your empowerment back. So it's okay if things are chaotic.
What else do you want to say, Jen?
I just think that Taylor Swift is awesome. She's a good advocate for truth and kindness, and it's like what she puts out there in like sharing love and kindness and truth with all these little girls and their mothers. We can extend that in the world. That's why we're giving out friendship bracelets, is to like take that love outside of just a concert and bring it back into our communities.
All right. Thanks, Jen. We'll wind it up here. Thanks for joining us. Look forward to catching you next time. Bye for now.
Bye for now, everybody. Thank you.